Hey, welcome! My name is Lylanthia, and today we're going to be opening a booster box of Theros. Now, I know this set's been out for a while. It's currently, November 3rd, 2017. So this set came out in 2014, I believe. It's about 3 years old. I picked this up today for a pretty good price, and I'm going to rip it on open here and show you what we get. And let me see, I'm just checking the date on this because I wanted to be sure it's 2014 and not 13. 13, all right. So this set has a bunch of really cool casual playable cards, a couple of modern playable cards, and definitely Thoughtseize, which is a card that's been going up a little bit in price. So I was kind of surprised to get this at the price I did, but you know, expected value is kind of a weird thing. Probably made more sense for them to sell it as a sealed box than it was as a as opening it on up. So we get some commons here. We get a Null that's kind of playable in Highlander. We get Titan Strength, which is there's a budget modern deck that runs it. Most of the rest of this isn't great. Vanquish the Foul, Flame Speaker Adept, Spellheart Chimera is kind of cool. It's a 3-drop power equal to the number of instant sorceries in your graveyards. And then we ended up getting an Arbor Colossus featuring the Monstrosity mechanic as our rare. We'll be interested in seeing if I get what I paid for the box out of it. Before we get too far, I ended up purchasing this for $80. I felt pretty solid about that price. Let's just brush through the commons here. Another Titan Strength and a Null in the same order, and the Vulpine and Goliath, so you can see they don't shuffle them very well. Centaur Battlemaster, Keepsake Gorgon, Triton Fortune Hunter, and a Colossus of Akros. Another Highlander playable card. He is a 10/10 defender and indestructible, and when you monsters him, he becomes a 20/20 with Trample that can attack as though it didn't have Defender. Alright, let's go to pack 3. We're going to see another run of the same commons. Voyage's End, bounce a creature and scry. That's pretty solid. Could like that in a control deck. Aqueous Form makes a creature unblockable and scries whenever you attack with it. Horizon Scholar, big huge Sphinx. That was kind of a thing in Theros. And Whip of Erebos. Alright, now that's a cool Highlander card. Reanimates frequently, able to throw a creature on the battlefield each turn, exiles at the end step, and it gives creatures you control lifelink. Not even just attacking creatures, just all creatures. Alright, so more commons. Nemesis Immortals, he costs less mana for each card in your graveyard, so it's an efficient 5/5 that you can get out for much cheaper. Burnished Heart, Highlander staple because he lets you fetch basic lands and put them on the battlefield tapped and colorless. Cutthroat Maneuver, and Madome of the Ageless, a commander. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, take an extra turn, and he can't attack during extra turns. So he's fair, but lets you take 2 turns for every one, or per cycle. Hero's Downfall. Excellent, efficient removal, instant speed, destroy a creature or a planeswalker for 3 mana. Double threat there, great planeswalker removal in Highlander. That was an uncommon. We got a Gainsay to counter a blue spell, Stone Shock Giant, another monstrous creature, and Triton Fortune Hunter. So far, these have been some pretty good cards. I think the Arbor Colossus is the only one that I wouldn't want to own. So we've got our commons again. I don't think there's any chase commons in this set as of right now. The Ordeals, that was a really cool cycle. Lets you put extra 1/1 creatures on 1/1 counters onto your creatures, and then they all have an effect that makes you sacrifice them. This one lets you gain 10 life. Hunt the Hunted, Sea Hunt Monster, and Anathenza Set in Hero. And Thausa Citizen Hero. I'm having some trouble talking tonight. Alright, so Heroic lets you create a 2/2 warrior. Not a bad green general, throwing a lot of pump spells to beef up the team. See some more commons. We got Acheron Crusader. These sell like crazy on TCG Player for Pauper Heroic decks. And haven't seen any foils yet. The Ordeal of Erebos makes your opponent discard cards. Horizon Chimera just has beautiful artwork on it. Look at that. And this Chimera is a flash, flying trample whenever you draw a card, gain a life. Evangel of Heliod is a token generator for Devotion on white. And we got a Temple of Triumph, a Scryland, which I never can get enough of those in EDH, especially in this color pairing because there's not a lot of deck manipulation in red and white. Alright. Stymied Hopes, counterspell that scries. Ooh, Time to Feed, that's a fight card. Battle Eyes Hoplites, another heroic creature, gets bigger as you pump him or as you target him with things. Prowler's Helm, Erebos' Emissary. Ooh, that's kind of cool. I mean, I wish it was almost any other rare in the set, but we got a foil Annex and Simday with a regular foil, or regular Annex and Simday in the same pack. It's kind of a neat thing to have happen. Those double rare packs are always kind of cool. All right, into the commons again. Yeah, the Breach and Hippocamp. It is a horsefish. Type of strength. Mogus and Marauder gives creatures Intimidate and Haste until end of turn. Satyr Piper makes things block him. Decorated Griffin and Abhorrent Overlord. He is a demon that when he enters the battlefield creates a ton of harpy creatures, which reminds me you should go check out my friend's art. Her name is Falling Stardusk. She is at Falling Stardusk on Twitter, and I believe fallingstardust.deviantart.com. Definitely check her out. She's one of my favorite artists. You may even see from time to time me playing with the elf tokens using her artwork that I designed. Okay. Let's see. What do we got here? Satyr Hedonist. Look at him all chilling out there. Read the Bones. The Karametra's Acolyte, which is one of those cards that we didn't really think was going to be that great out of the gate. I ended up liking her a lot in Highlander because you start getting a bunch of green permanents on your battlefield, which is what green wants to do anyway, and she's almost a Gaia's Cradle form. Oops. Shipwreck Singer is a harpy with an ability to make attacking creatures shrink down. She's also quite pretty looking. Check her out right there. Perfos Emissary. Hixus of Pandemonium. So each player exiles the top card of their library, 7 and tap it, sacrifice it. Each player turns face up all cards he or she owns with Hixus of Pandemonium, and then puts all permanent cards among them on the battlefield. And a foil Winged Steed Rider. So that is a human knight on top of a flying horse. No Thoughtseize yet, but we're hopeful. So we're going to go through these commons. Pharika's Cure does 2 damage to a creature and gain 2 life in black. Turn Centaur. Hopeful Eidolon. Another Ordeal. This one's the one that lightning bolts. Favored Hoplite, a very efficient heroic creature. Dark Betrayal, which was a part of a cycle of cards in Theros that hose their own color. So I believe the red one may have destroyed a mountain. The black one destroys a black creature. The blue one counters a blue spell. And we see a Bow of Nylea here. All right, Bow of Nylea is one of my favorite commander cards, just because of how versatile it is. It's almost a planeswalker on an enchantment artifact. +1/+1 counter for 2 mana, or 2 damage to target creature with flying, or you gain 3 life, or put up to 4 cards from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. I even sideboard one in Elves from time to time. Kills Delver of Secrets. It kills a lot of the guys in the Spirits deck, which is also pretty good. Let's see. Going through here. At the Giant, Time to Feed. Okay, Acro and Hoplite, which is the one that attacks. It gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the number of attacking creatures you control. He gets very big and scary very fast in the tokens decks. We've got a Decorated Griffin. And we get another of the legendary artifact cycle. This is Bident of Thassa. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of spread these all out here. So we got the Bident of Thassa, which gives all of your creatures the Thieving Magpie / Ophidian ability. Whenever you deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. And then creatures you control, or your opponents control, attack this turn if able on a use ability. So you can force them to get through so that you can get back to them. All right. Lightning Strike just got standard playable again. 3 damage to target creature or player instant speed. It's worse than Incinerate, worse than Lightning Bolt, but far better than what we've had recently. Centaur Battlemaster. He's another heroic guy. Stone Shock Giant, a big monster. Nylea's Emissary. It's one of the enchantment creatures. Oh, there's a foil in this pack. You can tell because this one's slightly blacker than the rest, which means that that's a foil card. Anyway, Nylea's Emissary. It's a part of the cycle of enchantment creatures in this set that can be bestowed onto a creature. And then when that creature dies, it becomes a creature itself. And then we got a Temple of Mystery. It's another one of the Scrylands. And a foil Heliod's God of the Sun. Whew. That's beautiful. And it is in extremely good condition because it just came out of the pack. I am going to reach over here to my handy dandy boxes of... Where the hell are my boxes? Oh my god. I need to move my playmats. This is important enough to me that we are going to take a brief pause. We've got some Dragon Seal Jets. I picked these up today, actually, and mostly because I was just curious what they were going to look like. I like them okay as like a sleeve for a deck that I'm not going to use very often. You can see they're very shiny and black, and the mat is very, very heavy. I'm worried that this surface is going to get scuffed up really bad by how the black back is. But I'd say, like, for a commander deck, sure. For a standard deck, I'm going to shuffle 100 times. No way. So let's very, very carefully put this in so we don't screw up the corners. All right, that's a near mint foil Heliod, God of the Sun. Very, very cool. I wish it was a Thassa, since Avrasia, my girlfriend, she plays a Thassa deck using a lot of the sea creatures from Theros. And I would love to give her a foil one to use as her general. Let's see. Fade to Antiquity. Exiling an artifact or enchantment in green. Commune with the Gods sees play in the Legacy version of Enchantment Fit. Mogus Marauder. We already talked about this guy. Ooh. Getting a little excited here. Arena Athlete. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Arena Athlete, target creature and opponent controls can't block this turn. And the Sealock monster. Reaper of the Wilds. I bought a lot of Reaper of the Wilds at $1 a piece, thinking that when Standard rotated, when Innistrad block was gone, that these were going to jump up in price because they were an efficient beater in green-black, which was a great color combo at the time. I was very wrong. But that happens sometimes. You can't win all of your speculations. You won't lose all your speculations either, so, you know, things happen. Oh, there's a foil in this pack, too. Okay, Nylea's Disciple saw a lot of standard play as a sideboard option against the burn decks. 4 mana, when it comes in, gain life equal to Devotion to green, so you gain at least 2 life, like a Kitchen Finks, or you could gain much more if you had other creatures on the battlefield. Voyaging Satyr, also the crux of many a standard deck, as it can untap Nykthos. Got a Gainsay, Stoneshock Giant, Nylea's Emissary, and Erebos. Man, this box is pretty good. So we've gotten 2 gods, we've gotten some of their weapons. Oh, and a foil Emissary of Perforos. Okay, let's go ahead and let's throw our temple out here too. So we've gotten a foil rare, a foil mythic, a foil uncommon, and a foil common so far. And we're in just now the second third of the box. And this pack does not have a foil. Okay, let's see. Spearpoint Oread, Unknown Shores, Aqueous Form, Chronicler of Heroes, and just a battlefield draw a card if you control a creature with a 1/1 counter. Dissolve, which was the Dissipate replacement. You gotta remember this set came in as Innistrad block rotated out, so we lost Dissipate, got Dissolve, which is a similar effect but with a scry on it, but you lose the exile. Then we got an Arena Athlete, Daxos of Meletus. He is another one of the 2-color legendary creatures from this set. Also, if you want to play blue-white aggro, he makes a pretty good general. I personally like Afara. No foil here either. Okay. Nimbus Naiad, you got a Naked Merfolk Lady Nymph thing. Cavern Lampid, who I also think is a very beautiful card art. You can see all the Nyx sparkles going on in that purple color. Looks very beautiful. Two-Headed Cerberus, double striking on a 1/2. Return from the Underworld, or Rescue from the Underworld. Wow, I'm butchering this. I wish I could go back and start over the video and just, you know, calm a little bit. But whatever, we're going to keep going. So Rescue from the Underworld is a very flavorful card. So you sacrifice a creature in addition to casting it. Then you choose a creature card in your graveyard and return that card and the sacrifice card back to the battlefield. So it's like one of your guys goes into the graveyard to get his friend and bring him back. Flamespeaker Adept, which fits the Scry Tribal theme in Limited by getting pumped up every time you scry. You got Witch's Eye, which is a scry on a stick, has an equipment. And a Fire Drinker Satyr. Whenever he's dealt damage, deals that much damage to you, but he's a 2/1 fire breathing on a 1 red creature. Also is a very popular standard card in the red aggro deck. Okay. We're going in here, Leaf Crown Dryad, more purple sparklies. Sedge Scorpion, Fellhide Minotaur, oh yeah. These are some good comments here. Spark Jolt, all right. So we get to Glare of Heresy, exile target white permanent. Again, in that same cycle we were talking about earlier. Destructive Revelry, which is seen in modern play. Destroy an artifact or enchantment and 2 damage to its permanent's controller. Warrior's Lesson, which lets you untap 2 target creatures and they draw you a card whenever they deal damage. Great Heroic Enabler. And a Stormbreath Dragon, all right. It's another great mythic. Stormbreath Dragon tied up standard for 2 years in that he is a Flying Haste pro-white who also has a monstrous ability that does damage to an opponent. Very, very good against the control decks as it can't be pathed to exiled. Once it resolves, it's very hard for them to take out, and it swings right through many of the blockers. Lingering Souls tokens can't stop it, and he can become a 7/7. I believe the Scred red decks still play him in Modern as well. All right, Nylea's Presence. That card looks amazing. I love the orange light. A huge sucker for orange sunlight. Artisan Sorrow. Destroy target artifact or enchantment scry 2 as an instant. I like this card in Commander a lot because I like to scry. Farika's Mender, which is like an Eternal Witness in green-black that returns a creature or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. We're going to actually set that aside for a friend's deck that I'm building. And we got a Xenagos. All right, so we hit the Planeswalker Mythic too. This box is kind of insane. Foil Aqueous Form. So that's 3, 4... Was that 5 mythics? 5 mythics so far. So 5 mythics, a foil mythic, a foil rare. Man, this is turning out to be a great box opening. Now we just need to see a Thoughtseize. All right. Ooh, this pack's got a foil. So we got Divine Verdict. That's kind of a staple, gets reprinted all the time card. Destroy target attacking, blocking creature, instant speed at 4 mana. And then Last Breath, which is exiling a creature 2 or less, and its controller gains 4. Keepsake Gorgon is a pretty interesting power at an uncommon spot. So she is a 2/5 for 5 mana that monstrous is for 1 at 7 mana. When it becomes monstrous, destroy target non-Gorgon creature opponent controls. So it's like a Necrotal for a ton of mana, but uncommon, I don't think you can really beat that. Fanatic Amogus, also a standard defining card. When he comes into the play, he deals damage to each opponent equal to your devotion to red. So you just keep stacking out all these red creatures, and then boom, Fanatic hits for 10. Prognostic Sphinx, that was a control finisher for a little while, in that he was very difficult to kill. Hexproof by just discarding a card, and whenever he attacks, he gets to scry 3, which is a ton. And a Foil Demolish, a card I play in Draft, and everyone says it's terrible, but when you're greedy and play 3 colors, you lose to my Demolish. All right, so we're about to finish the second row in the box. No foil in this pack. Let's go ahead and flip right through these cards right here. We got a Peak Eruption. So that's the red one. Destroy target mountain. It does 3 damage to that land's controller. Glare of Heresy is the white one. Warrior's Lessons we talked about already. And 100-handed one. He's not amazing. Can block a lot though. He can block 99 creatures each combat. If he's monstrous, that is. All right. Moving on up. Okay, there is no foil in this pack. Ooh, okay. So God's Willing, that's another common that was really, really defining. Target creature gains protection from a color of your choice, scry 1. Played in the Heroic deck because it lets you make a guy unblockable and just beat right through with it, and also giving a +1/+1 color. Ragma Warcaller is a cornerstone of Minotaur Tribal. Whenever a Minotaur you control attacks, it gets +2/+0, and it gives all of your Minotaurs haste. And the Sentry of the Underworld, which is a Griffin skeleton, once you pay a white, a black, and 3 life to return it, or to regenerate it. Oh, you don't see regenerate on modern cards very often anymore, so that's kind of cool. We've got the Celestial Archon, which is a bestow creature, intro pack rare, 4/4 flying and first strike onto a creature. It is a pretty solid ability, honestly. 7 mana to bestow it, though. I don't know if I feel about that. But a flying first strike 4/4 for 5 mana is a pretty good rate, even if it dies to naturalize. Okay, let's see. We've got, oh, there's a foil in this one. Sea God's Revenge. I think that Avrasia was bugging me for a Sea God's Revenge for her Sea Creatures deck. We've got the Heliod's Emissary. Flamecast Wheel, which is 5 tap sack it to 3 damage target creature. A Reverent Hunter, which is when he enters the battlefield, put a number of 1/1 counters on it equal to your devotion to green. So he can come in as a very large, heavy-hitting creature. And a Foil Prowler's Helm. Enchanted creature, or equipped creature can't be blocked except by walls. All right. Dig through these guys. Lost in the Labyrinth. Artisan Sorrow, that always makes me happy. Witch's Eye. Insatiable Harpy, flying lifelink 2/2 for 4 mana is not bad at all. We get a Temple of Abandon, getting us up to 3 temples out of the set. All right. And let's see, let's cut right through here. Ordeal of Thassa lets you draw 2 cards off of a 2-mana enchantment and beefs up your guys. Satyr Piper, Thassa's Emissary, which is a crab, which is Avrasia's favorite creature type. Sylvan Caryatid, A creature that generates mana that is also hexproof and has a big enough butt to block a lot of guys in Modern. He makes it difficult for Burn to win, as he can block Goblin Guide forever. She, I should say, probably. And taps for mana the entire time. Let's grab some water. All right. And what's the next one here? All right. So we open up on a Demolish. Pack's already bad. Throw it in the trash. No foil. Okay. Ooh, that poor Opaline Unicorn's a little bit cut up here. Opaline Unicorn is an interesting creature, though. So it has the Birds of Paradise effect on a 1/2 in colorless as well. So it's a creature that is a mana rock in colorless. Nemesis Immortals. Coordinated Assault. 2 creatures get +1/+0 on first strike. Spellheart Chimera. And we hit the Temple of Silence. So that's now up to 4 unique temples. We might complete the cycle. All right. And then let's see. We'll just kind of speed through here. Magma Jet, yet another standard defining card, originally printed in Future Sight. No, Time Spiral maybe. It was in that block, I want to say. 2 damage target creature, player scry 2 on a colorless and a red. Very good in burn decks that need to be able to keep themselves from getting too much mana. And Rot Raptor, flying for strike, 2/1 for 4. Limited card. And we get the Prophet of Krufix. So good, it's banned in Highlander. The old Prophet. She didn't even foresee her own banning. Oop, no foil, but there's definitely a black card. Okay, we get the Chimera. And the Flame Speaker Adept, Witcher's Eye, and a Night Howler. I played this card in, Abzan Enchantments back in Standard for a while. It gets +X/+X, where X is the number of creature cards in all graveyards. That deck was very powerful using Doomwave Giant out of Journey into Mix. Alright, let's see. No foil again. Alright, so we get to Battlewise Hoplite, Heroic Guy. Vanquish the Foul, destroy a card creature with power 4 or greater, scry 1 for 6 mana. Wow, that's expensive. Coordinated Assault, and we get the Nykthos. Alright. So that's 5 out of the 6 rare lands in the set. Which is exactly what you want to see when you're going for something like this. The rare lands are always kind of chase cards, as they're useful in Highlander, Modern, Legacy, any format that you're playing is going to need some rare lands. These ones maybe not as much in Legacy. Some Modern decks do run them as extra copies, and because they want the scry effect. Sea God's Revenge. Tormented Hero, the black heroic creature. So he enters the battlefield tapped, just like the 2/2 Diregraph Ghoul from Return to Ravnica before him. Kind of became a theme in Standard for a while. You had these 2/1 and 2/2 black creatures that either couldn't block or enter the battlefield tapped. Whenever you cast a spell that targets him, your opponent loses 1 life. Favorite Hoplite. And we got the Thoughtseize. We did it. This is basically everything we could have wanted from this box. We got the Thoughtseize. We got 5 mythics. We got all the rare lands we wanted. We got the good equipments. And a foil Helion. I have to say, basically everything else in this is going to be gravy at this point. Ooh, no foil in this one. Okay. There's the commons, Traveling Philosopher, Yoked Ox. Got the Vanquish the Foul again, Hacker and Hoplite, and Prowler Helm. And we got an Artisan of Forms, blue heroic rare creature that lets you copy a creature whenever it's targeted. Also, just look at this forest. That's just beautiful. Do you see that sunset? The way that it reflects off of the lake. Like I say, Adam Picked, you are a very, very talented man. All right, this feels like a good one. It's a little firm. Don't know if it's going to have a foil in it, though. We'll find out. Join me on this adventure. Mnemonic Wall, Pauper mainstay. It is a Eternal Witness type effect for instant or sorcery cards whenever it comes into play. Flicker it, generate value. Okay. Horizon Scholar, Big Sphinx, Hamble Rot Raptor, Ordeal of Nylea, which lets you search for 2 basic land cards. I played this one in a Psychotog style deck using the green-white Atog that sacrifices enchantments and lands. So you could go sack off your Ordeal of Nylea after you got a couple counters on it, buff the Atog, go get your lands. And we got an Ember Swallower. No foil in this pack, so I think maybe I'm a little off on that. Ember Swallower also saw a bit of play in Standard for his ability to destroy 3 lands. And also just because he was big. He was a 4/5 for 4, already ahead of the curve. Oh, there's a foil in this one. Okay, here we go. Oh, Surprised I haven't seen a Gray Merchant of Asphodel in here. Ordeal of Heliod, Triton Tactics, Insatiable Heartbeat. Boon Satyr, another standard playable. So he flashes in for 4/2 for 3 mana, which is already great. He also can bestow for 5. And a foil Defend the Hearth. Alright, we're down to 3 packs. Is there anything else left that we want to see? I guess a Nylia wouldn't be bad at all. A Purphoros would be kind of cool. Although I really feel like I'm holding my breath to get a Purphoros. Ooh, no foil? Okay. So we go to Glare of Heresy, Destructive Revelry, Dauntless Onslaught, and we see a Rageblood Shaman, the Minotaur Lord. Two packs left. Ooh. This is going to be a good one. All right, Voyaging Satyr. It's a good sign. Peak Eruption, Ordeal of Thassa, Cutthroat Maneuver, untap 2 or up to 2 dark creatures, get +1/+1 on lifelink. Great in the black-white heroic deck, and Ashiok the Nightmare Weaver. So that is our 6th mythic in this box, and both planeswalkers that were in the set. Maybe there's a third one and I don't remember him. I don't know. I have a special place in my heart for Ashiok. We played him in a blue-black control deck in Modern for a while, alongside our buddy Thoughtseize here, and he was quite the fun to play. All right, so we go to Dissolve, the standard Counterspell All-Star, Burnished Heart, Highlander Greatness, and a Chain to the Rocks for the last rare. So the last one a little disappointing, but can you really complain when you see a box like this? So this is all the value we got. I'm just insanely pleased on this. I don't know the value of all the cards right offhand. I'm hoping that the Heliods are more than 10. I would imagine that to be the case, given that it is quite fun in Commander. Thoughtseize has a little tiny bit of wear along the edge here. Looks like it just wasn't cut very sharply. Let's go ahead and sleeve up this Thoughtseize too, just to be on the safe side. I know these have been, they were ticking up until the announcement of the reprint in Iconic Masters, which may actually be part of why this box was so cheap. But I feel like we did it, even if this is $10, and this is $10, and this is like 5. So like that's 30. Like let's say that's 40, that's 50. And then maybe this puts us up to 65 or 70. And then you go all the extra rares in here, all the commons, uncommons. I feel like we definitely made our $80 worth and opened about the best box of this set that you could ask for. I think the only way it could get better is if you had a foil Thoughtseize instead of Heliod, or a foil God that wasn't Heliod. I think I'd still rather have an Erebos or a Purphoros in foil. Or if one of the walkers was. But overall, this is definitely a box that you can't complain about. I'm very happy to have had the chance to open this, and I really thank you very much for joining me. So, tune in next time. We'll have some more content for you. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.